Hi, I'm Caris Williams, also known as the Salvage Sister. I'm an artist, designer, fabricator specialising in the use of salvage materials. So what that basically means is I collect all sorts of salvaged and reclaimed items and I turn them into beautiful and useful things for the home, business, well, wherever basically. People come to me because they want something quirky, different, well made, handmade, and just something that you can't get from a catalogue, or their friends aren't going to have one. So they come to me for something really, really unique, and I really thrive on being set a challenge. So when my client gives me a brief and says, I need this bar and I want it to hold all of these different drinks and this, that and the other, but it's got to fold up and go in a car and it's got to have a big sign on it and it needs to be moved by one person, I'm like, that sounds like my kind of job. So lots of figuring out. The design aspect really excites me because it's almost like a puzzle where you're putting pieces together, especially when you're working with salvage. It's not as cut and dry as when you're working with new materials, and for instance, that when you go and buy that wood, it will be this set size, it won't have any splits, it'll be brand new, it'll be treated. There's loads of things you don't have to worry about that you do have to worry about with salvage materials. All sorts of dirt, grime, bugs that need to be cleaned off, depending on, if you're working with salvage wood, you need to make damn sure there's no bugs in that before you put it in someone's house, for instance. Or with metal, you can have rust, corrosion, damage on it that you need to repair. So it really does, it gets your brain thinking outside the box on different ways, how you can use things that are maybe broken in other ways, how you can fix them up to, be better and work better than they did before. So that's what really makes me tick. I love a challenge. I would describe my work as industrial style. I guess it's got a real kind of industrial feel to it, especially the metal work. I really love rivets, I love bolts and cogs and gears and chains, anything like that. So it's definitely industrial, and I try to put my own little spin on things, so if I find inspiration in something like my Eames inspired coat hooks, I've done them with golf balls and snooker balls and things like that, and obviously changed the design, but the inspiration from that, I remember my mum and dad had an Eames coat hanger in their hallway when I was a child, and just seeing those balls every day, it's like instilled that in my memory. So when I got hold of a bag full of golf balls, I was like, know exactly what I'm doing with them. So I think my brain probably works in a slightly different way to others, but I really make things that I adore, that I really like for my style. I'm a tomboy, I love motorbikes, I love metalworking, seeing sparks flying. I like to feel alive by creating new things, and hopefully that really shows in my work. You'll have to let me know. I'm asked so much about my journey and how I came to be the Salvage Sister. I mean, how do you create a career out of nothing and just decide that you want to play with stuff every day and try and find a way of doing that? That's basically what I've done. I took a very convoluted, round the houses, very long-winded way to get here in actual fact, and looking back in hindsight, hindsight's great, I could have done this a lot quicker. But when I was very young, I didn't have any confidence in myself. I knew I loved drawing, and I knew, I wanted to be an artist. That's all I ever wanted to be, was just be creative. I just sat there with my pencil, I didn't need anyone else. But because I didn't have any confidence and I was so shy, I really didn't push that, because I actually, it's like so, get your violins out for this one. I went to go and see my careers advisor at 17 or 16 or whenever, when I was leaving school with all my artwork under my arm, piles of it, collected all these sketches, doodles, realistic drawings, cartoon drawings, everything you can imagine under my arm. Went off to see the careers advisor because we all had to have a meeting with him. And as soon as I walked in, he said, "What, you want to be an artist?" He didn't even bother looking at my work at all. He said to me, "Wouldn't waste your time being an artist. Go get a job, where you've got sick pay and a salary and a guaranteed job that you're not going to get sacked from." Basically did just go and tell me to get an admin job. When I went home to tell my mum, she was saying, "Oh, well, maybe he's right. Maybe you should, you need to plan for the future. You need to buy a house, this, that and the other. When have you ever heard of a rich or successful artist?" And I'm like, "Plenty, mate. Van Gogh, this, that, the other." And my careers advisor said to me that, well, Van Gogh ended up so mad he cut off his own ear. He was poor his entire life and only made any money after he was dead. Bam, see you later. I literally left that office, head hung, like like when you tell a dog off and it goes, "Oh," and just whimpers away. That was me. I was like, should I just burn this then? My life's over. Went home to my two very hard-working parents who, God bless them, had a lot, you know, on with their own businesses, but were quite a misery to be around at the time. So I wasn't really pushed into the avenue, or, you know, I didn't have the confidence in myself, and I didn't have anyone else giving me a kick up the arse going, follow your dreams, which is what I tell my kids and what I would tell every single youngster. Find something you like doing, practice it till you're the best, and then go out there and smash it and be the best and do what you love. You can fail so miserably at something which you didn't even want to do, i.e. working in a bank, which is where I did go straight after school. So I worked in, I better not say the bank, but I worked in the kind of admin side of a bank for 5 years, and it was absolute misery. I was so depressed every day, I cried every Monday, but due to, you know, still thinking I had nothing else to go back to, because, you know, art was never going to get me anywhere, and I had not really any other skills that I could, you know, nothing that I was really dragging me to get hold of. And that's really what you need in life. If you want to get good and be successful at something, you need to be passionate about it, whatever that thing is, right? Whether it's gardening or building space rockets or being a scrap artist, just, you know, you've got to have the passion for it and the drive, because it's not easy. I used to be a professional artist, and I actually painted murals for theme parks and all sorts of things like that, but I didn't actually go to art school or you know, a proper educational art facility until much later in life. And the reason for that is really confidence. I didn't have confidence in my skills, I couldn't talk to people. I could not sit here and do videos and talk to you now. I could not do any live events or anything like that. I was a complete introvert, which is probably completely unbelievable to you, because it's completely unbelievable to me that I've managed to come full circle and now have confidence in myself and just push myself out there. The turning point, I really think, was when I had my daughter Tiger, and I went from, you know, a job which I really, really hated, and I just decided when she was born that I wanted her to have the best life, and I wanted her to enjoy her life and know that she could do anything that she wanted. And I could only really tell her that if I was doing it as well. And that's where it all started. So I started actually by painting her bedroom with Winnie the Pooh theme, which then led on to getting some commissions for pet portraits and other children's bedrooms, and then that led on to painting murals at Drusilla's and also Paradise Park in New Haven, so loads of different kind of artwork jobs. But it's very static for me to sit very still and paint all day. I'm quite an energetic person that needs to be moved. I need like my body and my brain all working together. I think I might be able to go back to painting when I'm a little old lady or something, and I can sit there painting landscapes or knitting or something more static. But at the moment I need to be mobile, and so the kind of work that I do, it changes every single day. 1 minute I'll be working with wood, the next minute it's metal. Sometimes I'll be working on both together. I'll be working on bits of car, like car seats or sprockets and, you know, gears and things out of motorbikes. Lots of push bike frames, wheels, all sorts of things. So that really inspires me, because I love for every day to be different. I cannot bear, I don't know if this is from trauma of working in a bank, but if I do the same thing 2 days on the trot, I can't handle life. I need to be constantly moving and evolving and trying new things. So I did have to work for myself, because there's no other job you can really go into where 1 minute you know, you're in the workshop creating things, the next minute you're designing packaging for something, and, you know, you're a graphic artist 1 minute, you're a metal worker the next. And I find that really, really exciting. Also, a massive part of my work is inspiring others. So I run workshops in Brighton where I teach others all of this kind of skills that I know, right down from basic DIY and power tool knowledge up to freestyle classes where you bring the idea and I bring the knowledge, and then we create something together. Lamp workshops as well, pallet furniture workshops have been absolutely massive. You guys love those. So it's all about saving the planet by reusing materials. So the sustainability aspect of it for me is massive. Being from Brighton, we're a very green city, and I actually grew up with, well, my father is very, very nuts. But he's actually eccentric. We call him eccentric. But he grew up during the Second World War, and he was a little boy. He's in his 80s now, so he's quite old. Not that you'd know it, because he's still up ladders decorating the front of his house, because he's insane like me. But yeah, so he grew up during the rationing of World War II, and so you couldn't, like, you might have a little square of chocolate at Christmas if you were like really, really lucky. He said he didn't even eat chocolate till he was like 30 or something. Or you might get a Satsuma, was like, oh my God. And like, he didn't have a banana till he was in his late 20s or something. So going through that kind of poverty and those restrictions, I think really, really stayed with him. He hates waste of any kind. Turn a tap on in his house, you better be drinking that or washing in it. And if you're washing in it, you better be 2 minutes. Open the fridge, you need to know exactly what you're getting, where it is, get it out damn quick and close that door before he sees. Leave a light on, oh my God, bang, bang, you're dead. Like, I was brought up with this. Imagine 2 teenage daughters being brought up with a man who rations toilet paper. Okay, so 1 square for, I don't know if this is too much info, but 1 square for a 1 and 2 for a 2. It just wasn't on. We used to have to borrow them from school and then these toilet rolls, take them home because, like, God, you broke up with your boyfriend or something. You're going to use up like a whole month's worth of supply. So that really has affected me, and I literally hate waste now as well. I'm the same as him. If you get the tap running too hard or anything, if I see someone drop a piece of litter in the street, no, they're going down. So the sustainability aspect of what I do is really pivotal to it for me as well. Not only the fact that I'm reusing materials and I'm saving them from landfill, but if I inspire other people to do the same, and that one person inspires somewhere else, so, it's like little branches, little roots of inspiration going out across the globe, and eventually, hopefully, we will start reusing all the stuff that we can reuse and stop sticking it in a hole and damaging the planet. The other reason I do what I do, obviously, is because it is fun. I absolutely love it. I get, the strangest commissions and the weirdest stuff to work on. It makes every day different. It makes it challenging. It makes it inspiring. It really keeps me alive. It is fun. It's like every day's a puzzle. I also like a little bit of danger. So I mentioned I ride motorbikes. I love welding. I've got like a gas rig under there. If it's like, ooh, it's a little bit scary, then I really want to have a go on it, please. I'd like to go skydiving as well. Just adding a few things to the list.